one of the things that I've tried to do, or that I'm trying to do right now, is, and I don't know why this thought didn't come to me earlier, you guys have shared with me, or the groups that we've met with have shared, basically each time since day one when we've done this, that, that I'm going to call it the environment inside the classroom really has a huge impact on the culture of what we're trying to do in our building. You know, PBL and all that stuff that goes with that. And so the one thing that we've done, a step forward that I think we've taken is, last week, well maybe it was even Monday I guess, I invited some learners to be a part of a training experience for the adult facilitators. And so I asked some of the folks who have been in this circle before to do some training with our facilitators around what is, for example, high quality critical friends experiences. Right? What are the experiences around PBL? That's sort of where we started. What are the experiences around PBL that need to be high quality because they are different in maybe various classrooms? Right? And you guys are the best ones because you guys experience all the different classrooms. Right? And you guys know, okay, if I walk into this classroom, and not that we're talking names, but if I walk into a classroom, it's going to be a pretty authentic experience, you know, with everything we've come to expect from PBL. And if I walk into this classroom, maybe not so much. You follow me? So my question to you is, I want to continue to use learners. I want to continue to use students to help train teachers so that they get better at their craft for you and the people who come after you. Okay? So my question to kind of kick this whole thing off is, what do you need to be a part of? What should we focus on with your help to ensure that the classrooms are at the level of PBL that we want them to be at? Make sense? Okay, that's my question for you.
So I guess one thing that you can do first, or I mean, it's nothing that you can do first, but that we can do eventually to help, could be like, some teachers have feedback forms that the students can fill out and be like, oh, could I have done this better? How would you have done this? Did you like this? How did this make you feel? And those help, or also the recruitment process for the teachers, because like we've discussed before, some of the new teachers aren't really with the culture. So maybe if we change up our recruitment process a little bit, or like make it more intimate with that one teacher to get to see if they'll actually do well here, that could probably help too.
I feel like the hating on the new teachers is a little like overused. It's like not fully understanding everything, just kind of the nature of being new. So I kind of feel a little bad because everyone just kind of hates on the new teacher, and I feel like that's not,
Exactly.
it's not extremely productive.
And it's not even the teachers necessarily, it's more of the, that we're only able to do slides. PBL is not just slides. So if it was just slides, it would have been slides project learning, but it's not. It's just a base. You need to expand the wider area of using different things that you can make. So like, make something that's 3D, make something that's like a website. Do something different than slides. Have the teachers maybe do a project once a year that's just completely different than slides.
So I would agree with that. Also, like they're talking about, not hating on the new teachers. I know it was discussed previously in the last discussion I went to that we were going to talk about maybe giving them a chance to work under a teacher who is already working here and is well versed in project-based learning, and so that they would get that kind of apprenticeship, I feel, and be able to fully incorporate better rather than just getting no experience but the basic idea and then being dropped in the middle of it. And
so I'm going to kind of laser us here. Here's really where I want to go, and I think all these are great ideas, and you're right. We have talked about these before, but I'm interested in what is it that. So I asked a group of learners to model for and present to and model for facilitators, this is how you do critical friends. Right? This is what works for us. This is the things that are high quality. These are some things that we think we'd like to see you change when you do these critical friends processes. Right? The whole idea of expanding the product beyond a slides presentation. Right? Okay, that is something that physically we can do. We don't have to wait, this summer and train, blah, blah, blah. You guys can help do that as early as next week if we wanted to. You see where I'm going?
Yes.
So how do we utilize the experiences that you have on a daily basis around what's good and what's bad to help facilitators be better PBL folks in their classrooms? Because I'm going to tell you that I have yet, I've got an interview set up with one individual who knows what PBL is and supposed to be because she graduated from Capel New Tech in Texas, which is where we modeled this place after, right? She's the first teaching candidate I've ever come across who has that kind of experience. She experienced PBL as a student, now she's gonna do it as a teacher. That's a great person, right? But none of them come to us with PBL experience. So I want to use your wealth of experience to help them be better. How do we do that?
I don't really know if that'll work in your advantage though, because, if you watch a classroom that's giving critical feedback, most of the suggestions that you're having is like, oh, I like the colors, or, you're doing well, keep going. Some of us don't even know what PBL is still, and we still don't know how to give important critical feedback. So I think what you really need to look for is how a teacher views it. Because, you said that, teachers don't really have the great mindset that we're going for with PBL, but that's their classroom. What their definition of good product might be different than our good product. Because some of us don't really care to put much effort into the product.
Any thoughts on
I can
Can you
definitely
talk to
agree.
me?
that? Yeah.
I was one of the learners that modeled the Critical Friends last Monday, and something that we addressed was students not caring about the product and not really putting much effort into it, like you were saying. And the way that we address the teachers with that is we believe that you needed to put a bigger incentive and really express the importance of the product. And also the way that we could make project-based learning, like you were saying, more authentic, more like a better experience throughout the whole classroom. And also the feedback. I just believe that like freshman year, the learners just need to have like exposure of what everything is. Because like in Critical Friends now, you have the I likes, I wonders, and next steps. And that's a good format, that's a good step-by-step process they can do. But to get that more genuine and authentic feedback, you kind of have to grow away from saying I likes, I wonders, and next steps. Because good, genuine, authentic feedback is not just saying I like your slides or I wonder if you could finish this. It's more of saying I like this, and then you express why you like it, and then you say, but it also causes this problem, and it just really elaborates and just creates a plan for itself. So something that I was expressing to the teachers was that you need to have you need to have exposure of how basic feedback is, and then the learners will just use that experience and that exposure to just expand onwards. And that's going to take time, obviously, and it's probably going to take you until sophomore and junior year to really grow on the authentic feedback. And then your senior year, you could possibly maybe help lead and guide the exposure that the freshmen need.
And I'm going to tell you, I had a number of facilitators after Monday share with me, hey, we had this aha moment, right, around the rubrics, for instance, because you guys were talking about the rubrics. And we had this aha moment, and they were sharing with it, I need to do a better job at, making sure that I know the rubrics, and the kiddos, the learners know the rubrics, and all of a sudden, that experience that they just had that the adult had as a learner in front of you guys, now clicked a light bulb on that, you know, hadn't been clicked on before. You see where I'm going? So those are the kinds of things that I'm trying to, that I wanna put in front of them, because quite honestly, when, it's kinda like that same thing, and you probably heard your parents say this, when your parents tell you something over and over and over again, you're kinda like, yeah, whatever, and then when maybe your teacher tells you that very, very same thing, you go home, you're like, hey, my teacher said, and your parents are like, yeah, I've been telling you that for 6 months, right? But you hear it differently. Teachers are the same thing. They hear it differently when it came from you guys than when it comes from somebody else.
I would say, so we did Critical Friends, I believe Wednesday and Thursday, in basically the mess. I'm not sure who all was at the meeting that he was at, but they did more of an authentic thing, and we didn't really even mess with Life's Wonders and Next Steps. And I feel like that was one of the better Critical Friends that we've had since coming here.
Yeah, I really believe the next step column isn't really an effective column because you don't really know what to put down. Like, all you know is like, oh, maybe finish it, because you don't really know what their next steps are.
Yes.
So you can't really talk for them.
As well as, like, you know, once you have something that, you know, an I wonder, then really the next step is really just fix the I wonder, so it's kind of self-explanatory usually.
Well, I think that the I wonders and next steps, I feel like that's like good to give to freshmen as like here's a toolkit on how to give feedback.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that you can just, and then you guys are talking about the next steps and the Critical Friends thing. Ben Brankamp was talking a lot about how he, in Critical Friends you only talk about the I likes and I wonders. And then after Critical Friends is over, all the groups get together and discuss their own next steps.
Yeah.
So maybe possibly just like getting that next step column of the Critical Friends and just moving it to another time slot where you just do it within your own groups. And then during the Critical Friends, you just have the I likes and I wonders that's presented.
So another thing might be like, if we're having trouble with, you know, boring projects or projects and how we're doing critical feedback on them, why don't we find a way to make like a project that the students know more about? So if they have not as much experience with the slide, maybe they can do something that they do have more experience with, and that way they know how to give that higher level feedback. I don't exactly know a good example, but just something along that idea.
Maybe
Yeah,
just make it, okay.
I think that it's a lot about project structuring because it's like teach, learn, teach, learn, teach, learn, Critical Friends present. And I think it needs to be, you learn something, you talk about it, you may present, you may just do like a Critical Friends, I know what that would be, about what it is, and then you move on, and it's like a staging to then have a final project that you show, and you're like, this is the thing that I've learned.
Make the student want to learn. Like, if the teachers know it's going to be a boring topic to learn, make it a fun project. You know, maybe have them design something, build something, but they know it's going to be a very fun project to learn about. Keep it what they want to do, but you know, they know it's going to be a boring topic. Choose something that's going to be interesting for them to want to get their hands on.
You're never gonna get all the students to wanna learn though, and like, I understand like some projects are like boring sometimes, but like, a lot of times, well, too bad, it's still something you gotta learn. It's not, the fun is not highest priority in education. The highest priority is, you gotta learn new stuff. And if you don't like it, that's too bad, you still gotta learn.
But isn't the fun an incentive to learn? So like,
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not important, but like, you can't like sacrifice having effective projects by trying to make them
however,
fun.
There is some
All the time.
sacrifice that you can make. In Tanner right now, she's a new facilitator. She's learning what we're kind of growing with. She's new here, she's trying to figure it all out. And by doing that, she has created projects for us to do. And so the project that we're working on right now is we're creating a project for our learners. Like we flip-flop spots. So like we're getting a picture of what we already learned. And with the project, you have a certain goal, you have the driving question, and then you have the standards that by law you have to focus on. And with those standards, they can kind of be, there's little loopholes that you can make to make it engaging, but at the same time meet the benchmarks that they need so that they get the information.
So let me ask this, am I understanding correctly? Because what I think I'm hearing a little bit of is a desire to have the projects a little more open-ended? Are they too constrained?
Not too open-ended. I've done projects before where like, I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to be learning, and it's not good. So like, they need to be like free, but like specific.
They're, like, I get what he's saying because that's exactly how I feel. It's like, we need requirements, we need structure, but at the same time with the final product, it would be a lot easier to have a little bit more freedom with that. But at the same time, if we're given too much freedom, it's gonna end up all jumbled and we're not gonna get the information or the product done successfully.
Yeah, so what Mr. Daniels is doing right now is we're doing like, in sociology, deviance, and he has requirements, and he doesn't like slide presentations, which like gets it, well, I mean, he likes them, but it gets us away from the standard, PowerPoints, Prezi slides. He's like, give me something new, something original. And so he has these requirements for us, but then he lets us come up with our own question that relates back to like the overall topic. And then we do research on this question, we come up with a original product. So like I'm making a magazine because I haven't done it before, and we present it to the class in like a creative way. And it's like what he said, it's like structured, but it's also like really free at the same time.
So I think like it's good for like the product or like the process to be open-ended, but not like necessarily what you're supposed to be learning.
So like
Shouldn't
they
necessarily.
point you in a direction, they give you the basic information, and then you take yourself through the rest of the process.
I guess a better way to like actually have it be labeled is like have a new column on like originality. Like if you have pushed yourself to try something new, then you should get rewarded in that way. I'm not saying that you like take points off for doing the slides, but if you push yourself to do something extra, that you should be rewarded for that.
It gives more incentive, and that also goes with knows, need to knows, and next steps. So we always do like side wonders and stuff, and then we do knows, need to knows, and next steps like at the beginning of a project, and then for Critical Friends. And with that, like we have that structure, but as we grow, we're gonna get more effective with our communication and with giving that feedback and figuring out what we need to know and kind of pulling it apart ourselves. Like when we were freshmen, it was really difficult for us to give feedback. It was like, oh, I like those slides. I like that color. Oh, I like your font. And now it's like, oh, I like the structure of your vocabulary and stuff like that. And so like, as we go on, the structure needs to get a little more free, I feel as though. But at the same time, starting with that structure is something that we need.
I think like structure in the beginning is good, but like I feel, especially from like the past few projects that we've done in chemistry and basic grade S for sure. Like chemistry, we all kind of came together and helped generate the driving question. Like we still had to underline what we were going to do, but we kind of worked together to figure out how we were going to do it and that sort of thing. And then I know in basic for tests, we were given like a time period, and they say, research this time period and figure out what you want to do, generate your own driving questions. Here are some ideas for products, you get to choose it. And they just gave us a whole lot more freedom than what we've had previously. And on top of that, I think if you have the freedom to create a product that you want to create, you can maybe go do something that you have a lot more experience with and haven't really gotten to show it in the classroom yet. And that can create a really good overall product, I think.
One thing I think is when we are, so like Jake was saying, teach, learn. When we're given a workshop or something, it's, at least in Basic for Tests, it's a slideshow or it's a worksheet or it's a video. And I feel like we're heavily influenced by other people. Obviously, that's kind of how humanity works and how they, or how it is. But as soon as, like, if they had taught us in a different way or a demonstration, then we're going to be more inspired to do something beyond that. Because right now, our expectation when they're teaching us is kind of low as far as, here's a slideshow, let me just read the information off the slides. But you guys cannot read the information off the slides. So I feel if we were shown how to instead of told not to, and then they show us what not to do, then we would have more inspiration to go bigger and be more into it.
So what I think I'm hearing you say is modeling modeling other presentation styles would help in the product creation from a learner standpoint.
I have an idea. So, like you were saying, we're basically shown about slides and stuff because that's how they teach us. Well, what if we get a group of students, make our own project to where we're teaching them? So give them an entry doc and have them, give them a structure, have them build an end product, and then we tell them, like, it'll show them that we're always centered towards going towards slides instead of doing something out of the box. I don't know about everybody else, but I came here because we were told that we could do out of the box ideas for our end products, and so far I'm basically doing slides for every class.
Well, the more we do slides, the more we're pointed towards slides for future projects. Because during freshman year, I only remember of 2 different projects in the same class that we had a different end product. It was in Lou and Sisson, and they always had different ideas, but with any other class, it's slides, slides, slides. You're always doing slides. And it's information, and yes, you need the information, and the information needs to get to the learners. But the more we do them, the more we're kind of putting ourselves in the box instead of trying to think outside. And I'm in 2 different classes that we're doing creative projects. So end products are completely our own. But with these projects, like I thought, oh, well, let's do slides. Even though I couldn't think of anything else because that's all we do. I'm so used to doing slides. Slides is what we wanted to do.
So what I'm trying to say is that, like, we can give teachers like an introduction and stuff like that, but tell them your end product cannot be slides. It can't be a slideshow. That way they learn that not everything has to be a slideshow, not everything has to be a presentation in slides, so that's where they're, like he was saying, that they're like, oh, click when they saw Critical Friends from our point of view. They're like, oh, we'll click again when they see end products from our point of view. Because right now all they see is doing slides because they make slides for us. So what if instead they make something else so that they see that it can be something else other than slides?
I think it's difficult though to phrase it as you have to do something other than slides in the beginning. I think it would be better to have like the idea of what your product must be change along the way. So if you say, oh yeah, you can do slides, and then they find out, oh wait a minute, this would probably work better, then they can change to that. And I think that as learning goes on, if you were to like model it for them, like how you would ideally want it to go, after you learn something about it, you can go, the basic slide idea that I had in my head, I don't want to do that, and I now want to do this, and I know that there won't be any like consequences for it, like I won't be docked on logical thinking points if it's hard to convey this.
You could even kind of like throw a curveball, and you could just kind of say, hey, you're doing a project, here's your entry doc, here's your driving question, everything like that. And then you could maybe see them all default towards slides, and whenever you're doing Critical Friends, you sit there and you kind of watch the presentation, you give them good feedback on it, and at the very end of it, you say, slide's not gonna work.
Why
You
would
have to
you?
redo it all.
Why would you wait that long to tell them they can't do slides? That's so mean.
No, actually, it's not.
It's not.
Hey, guys.
It's the representation that they're gonna default the same way that we do.
It
We go
shows
towards
that-
slides, that's what
yeah.
he's saying is we go towards slides, and they do too when they're trying to teach us something. So if we show them their default and then tell them to change it, they're gonna have to think outside of the box.
They're gonna do like
It shows them basically
Wait.
what we do.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to, here's what I've got, you guys have really helped me today, because what I'm hearing us say is we need to really start taking a look at end products,
Yes.
right? That's what I'm getting from this, so I really appreciate that. I am gonna have to kind of truncate it though, because I've got a 2:30 that I need to go take care of. We will do this again, but please understand I may be coming to some of you about, helping us kind of with designing what that presentation or what that training for facilitators might look like on end products. okay? So, thank you very much. I appreciate your time today.